Hello everybody, this is Joseph and welcome to another QML tutorial, and in this tutorial we're going to still be talking about animations, and we're going to talk a little bit more about parallel and sequential animations, and we are also going to discuss color animation, anchor animation, a couple other things. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so let's create a new file, and or new application I should say, Qt Quick 2 UI, and press choose on Untitled 3. We'll call this Animations, Anchors. Next, finish. Let's get rid of this text right here. Let's make some room for ourselves. Let's create a rectangle. Let's give it an ID. Call it blue rec. Set the color, if you can guess it. You probably guessed it. Let's set the width and height to be this divided by 2. And that's good. Let's run it. Okay, here it is. We click on the anywhere and it's going to kill it. So let's change that. Let's fill blue rec. Okay. Alright. Try that again. So only blue rec on click, correct. Alright, so let's add some states. Well, only one state actually. So say clicked. And we're going to say AnchorChanges. We're going to hit the target of blue rec. We're going to say anchors dot horizontal center is equal to, let's set an ID of the parent. Root dot horizontal center, and we'll say anchors dot bottom root dot bottom. Okay. Now let's add a property. Well, that's good for now. Now let's add a transition. And we're not going to need a to and a from on this one just because it's so simple. But let's say anchors animation. Let's give it a duration, say 1200. Let's give it an easing type. Say easing dot outbounds. Okay. And let's go down to our on-clicked area, and we will set on-clicked. We'll set the state of blue rec to be equal to, what do we call it, clicked? Okay. Save and run this. So when we click on this, there it goes, falls down to the ground. That's our animation with anchors there. Okay, and of course you can press it, hover it, press the F1 button, and look through all of the different types of properties there are. And I should mention that on AnchorChanges, there's no like center in or fill. I haven't noticed. Anyways, so let's add some. Add some rotation to this thing. Alright, so let's say rotation animation, and we're going to say target, and we're going to say blue rec, and we're going to say 360, and we're going to change that in a bit actually, but 360 and easing type. Wow. And we're going to say easing dot out circ. Okay. Save this and run it. Press it and it spins and goes down. Okay. Now, if we look back here, it says Animation anchors. Rotation animation cannot animate a non-existing property to angle, right? So we can just go up here to property change, and we can add some property changes. Object is going to be blue rec, and we are going to look at the, let's do color, and we're going to set that to green, and the rotation is going to get set to 360. Okay, so we just took care of that error. Now all we got to do is just take these parts out. Let's add a duration of say 1200, and cool. Now let's add some color animation, and we do not need a to and a from because we've already set that. Let's set the duration to be the rest. The rest, okay. Now by default, in this is running 1/2 all together, right? So all these anchors are just running right straight together. So let's go ahead and run it. There we go, and it changes to green. Okay, so we can add a sequential animation around this. Now we run this, and it's when we click on it, it goes down, then it rotates, then it changes colors. So it's one after another, right? In comparison to parallel animation, where they all do it at once. Well, I'm Joseph. We recap right here really quick. We created a rectangle called the blue rec. We added a state to it called clicked. We signified that in our mouse area, and we added some anchor changes to anchor it to its horizontal and so on and so forth. We added some property changes to the element also too, to make it go from blue to green and the rotation of 360 degrees. And then we added, in our transitions, we added our anchor animation, our rotation animation, and our color animation. So we could also do something like, let's see here, what is it, pause animation, and we'll just set that to be 300. You're not really going to be able to tell the difference because it's you know, in between, but if we had this in a sequential animation, then we can use pause animations to pause in between animations. There's also sprite animation too, which is great, and we'll get into that later on when we start creating like 2D game characters or something like that. Anyways, I'm Joseph. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Have a good one, and be nice to everybody out there.